Guys, we are locked in until 2026. The final tuning patch just dropped. The link is in the description if you kind of want to read along with the WoW head there. But I've already done the homework. We're going to go through my own beta testing and then go through the logs of what we actually have, go through the highest keys real quick, and then kind of go through the definitive winners of the Mythic Plus tier list this season. Right now, when you look at the tier list, you're going to see Unholy DK, Augs, Frost DK, Frost Mage, and pretty much every single one of them. You get a lot of Shadow Priest here, but it's mainly those are being done in some of the absolute highest keys right now. The Shadow Priest was one of the only 20s done. So they had Shadow Priest, Dev, Frost Mage right here. The other 20 is Dev, Frost Mage, Frost DK. They have a lot of Shadow Priests playing in the 19s right now. So when Shadow Priest, when Aug is good, that basically just means Shadow Priest is good because Aug is going to make those windows of your PI just even stronger. So when you're actually able to pair that up, any season where Shadow Priest is good and Aug is good, you're probably going to have Mage being good in there. And then we're also seeing topping the damage charts in a lot of the cases. We're going to see Dev. So Dev is also one of our absolute S tier classes right now. One of the just clearly the best tank on the beta. I don't think anyone really has an argument on that. Would be Vengeance Demon Hunter. The best healer, especially for all of these classes, are going to be Rdruid. Rdruid being good is kind of pushing out Feral and Boomkin to lower levels, even though Feral's pretty good. Boomkin just it doesn't feel like it has the anywhere near the impact of some of these other classes in here. So especially when your Rdruid is so valuable with the as a healer right now, you don't really want to double stack. And I think that's one of the main issues with Devour. You can see Devour in some of the highest damage for some of these keys, and obviously we don't have the full picture here. We don't have every single log that's ever been done. A lot of these are from a while ago too, so we can only really take with what we have, and then I'm going to also extrapolate and give you my feedback from doing these keys as well. So when you have Vengeance and Resto Druid being this powerful, especially when you have an Aug Shadow Priest meta, these four specs are probably going to dominate the top. Aug slash Dev with Shadow Priest, Resta, you just get every single defensive utility in the world, and that amount of extra durability is just going to make you you're just going to live one more, maybe even two more key levels than somebody that has none of that, and you have to use every CD to try to keep people up in some of these scenarios. But this top row right here, you could pretty much mix and match any of these combinations, and that would be a absolute S tier comp. The 20 that we have on beta that's logged is Frost Mage, Dev, and then we have Shadow Priest, and then almost every top key except for I saw a Prot Warrior up there as well has been Vengeance with Resto Druid. Then we also have another Dev Evoker for another 20 Algathar, and Frost Mage, Frost DK with the Vengeance and Resto Druid. So that's the other problem when Vengeance is this strong and none of the other tanks are as good as it. When you have Devour and Havoc, they're competing with that extra raid buff slot. So if they either bring Vengeance down or bring some of the other tanks up to Vengeance, then Devour right now in some scenarios I think can be very, very good, but it's just like Vengeance is a better tank. You don't want to double stack the buffs. So having Vengeance, Resto Druid as almost an auto lock in for your healer tank combo here, it makes it harder to get some of those other specs in there. So we probably are going to see some of the highest keys done, especially on beta this week. It's some form of a Frost DK, Frost Mage, Unholy DK. One of these will be in that for sure right there. So this should probably come up here a little bit. I'm assuming just because Shadow Priest Aug exists, this combination you just become immortal. Nobody ever dies, and your windows, you could just do massive pulls because nobody's gonna die. You have infinite CCs that don't necessarily between all of these classes here. and especially throwing in a DK, you get the grips on top of it. You get infinite stuns. Anything that goes off, you're going to have a lot of extra durability. So these are probably going to be by far the best in the early, especially the early game, because DKs can never die to anything. Frost Mage is really good early in dungeons just because it helps the tank if they, especially if they have to kite early. You're not doing hyper optimized routes. Generally, you're trying to get through the keys, and then the Frost Mage just has a profile that is just constantly doing damage throughout the entire dungeon, does good damage, is really tanky, fairly easy to play, so I would probably recommend playing Frost Mage. The Arcane Mage, there are some on the logs, but the Arcane has to deal with Frost Mage, so I'm assuming that the higher key level it goes up, maybe Arcane is going to start taking over, but right now it seems fairly clear that Frost Mage is the winner of the mage specs, and with that being said, all the other mage specs are like directly below it. I'd probably say Arcane and Fire are very similar, and then you have a Beast Mastery Hunter that does a similar thing to both of them. Devour, I'm really enjoying a lot of the play styles of it, but once again, when you talk about the highest level key, I'm assuming it's going to be a Vengeance, and there's no way that we're going to run Vengeance Devourer over a Dev Evoker that would then bring you a Lust as well over like the difference between what is happening with raid buffs. It's really going to determine at the very end of it. I mean, if Devour just does ungodly damage, obviously you take it. It's like the BM Hunter effect. If BM Hunter just ascends in DPS, it's going to you just bring it because it just raw does 20% more on the packs it procs on, and you just delete stuff. So very good. Fire Mage, I think, is just in a great spot, especially for Mythic Plus. I think Frost Mage, especially early season, is going to be better than it. I like early season, if you just pick up a Frost Mage, they are just going to blast the key no matter what. And I think a lot of the Fire Mages can do that too, but it's not the same thing. It's just not the Frost Mage. I would probably assume is going to be in almost every single early game group. This is definitely a must have early, and it's like that for almost every season. Frost Mage is just a good early season spec. It's just tanky, just good damage, helps you kite. I mean it can just do everything. It just has everything. So all of the other classes down here, everything can be changed with tuning, but a lot of these are being pushed out by simply they don't really fit a range caster comp. They don't bring enough of a buff, and or they just don't do enough raw DPS that would warrant bringing them over. Let's say, like when you look at bringing a Destro Lock over a Shadow Priest, you're now losing the health, like that raw health on 5 people is so much. The Hellstones are great, but the raw HP value, especially on tanks, and just you're able to live those one shots just that one key level higher. So Shadow Priest always just enables a higher level of play. Well, Death Priest, anything that gives that power of fortitude, then you're buffing that with the Resto Druid. You're just getting so many of those tankiness buffs that you're starting to scale into these higher keys way better than a group that only has that damage buff profile, because these guys, they're going to do the same amount of damage as you. They're just going to be 10% tankier flat out. They're going to just have more health, more versatility, and then like you just have an unholy DK with all of these buffs. It's like I can't die. And then if it's starting to die, it's like I guess I'll just heal myself. So these top comps are going to look like they have a little bit lower damage, but they're just going to do huge pulls and they'll never die. It's I think one of these combos up here is going to be the prime comp that we're going to see at the beginning of the season. So Aug Shadow Priest meta, and we basically have an auto lock of Resto Druid, Vengeance, Shadow Priest, Augmentation, flex a class in there, which is probably just going to be DK, because why the hell not? Just grip them in. You can do the Frost Mage, which is going to be insane. I really think that there's so many comp ideas. I also Probably early on, one of the highest would be Shadow Priest, Frost Mage, and then one of the DKs, and then just do like huge pulls. So that'll be a cool comp. I do think there's a lot of, as long as the Prot Warrior remains viable, I think it's only an A tier compared to like how infinitely tanky Vengeance is. So I think it has the possibility of moving its way up. Most of the classes down in A tier are kind of, yeah, I mean they're just middle of the pack. The Ret doesn't really bring as much damage, raw damage as it used to. Survival could probably go up a little bit, but it when it gets compared to a lot of the other specs, I don't know how it can really, like, I'm probably not bringing it over an Ellie Shaman that could bring a buff as well. So the, like, an enhancement shaman is basically survival hunter, except for it's just simply better in this environment. It reses itself if it needs to. It has insane damage. It can heal itself. It can help off heal the group, and it just buffs the group as well. I mean, it's a bit of a difference. It brings the lust. I mean, it's enhancement shaman versus survival hunter. You could really look at them as the same class. They bring a lot of the same utility. They're both the melee, and the enhancement shaman just simply outclasses it in almost every single aspect of Mythic Plus specifically. So when you're looking at tier lists like this, it's just like it is the same class. Generally speaking, it just literally does it better, and that's why like Frost Mage is the same thing as Fire Mage, but it's just better because it's just constant pressure. Marksmanship Hunter, I actually played this a little bit. It's does not feel great right now. Destruction, I played actually a lot. I like Destruction a lot, but it just got nerfed, so we'll see where it kind of shows up. I think most of the other classes, like Holy Paladin, I saw one of these as a high log, but I think for the most part, a lot of the healers don't compare to the rest of Druid. I think they're fair to put them in A tier because Shadow Priest being good, we're probably not bringing Disc. Blood DK, I don't know. You're just not going to use it really unless it's. It has to. Blood DK was only good one time, and they need to like relook at it completely. Every time Brewmaster Monk ever gets good, it gets gutted immediately. I would never play that class. Doesn't matter. Guardian Druid, it's a Resto Druid meta, so Guardian Druid's going to be out in the dirt, except for like one comp with the Squish Vegan. So they'll make these two B tier units work. So they probably will take these classes and make them work, but that's one team, and you'll probably won't see these that much in pugging. That I at least I haven't even seen people trying to sign up to them as much. So I did see a couple people trying to play Prez Evoker, and I'll be honest, the ones that I've played with did not perform very well, and I did not like it very much. So I've never seen a sub rogue, never even seen someone mention it. I don't know. Windwalker Monk, everyone that's played Windwalker hates it. My friend played Arms for like an hour and just completely deleted that, hated it, and went and like made a DK and was having a lot of fun. I think everyone said that Resto Shaman might be the worst thing ever. I play with two Prot Paladins on the beta, and these guys 100% HP, just dead. I've never really seen anyone playing Outlaw or Holy, and I heard that they did not like them as well, so we'll just put them in here and we'll just say that they're probably bad. Overall, if you're playing any of these S tier specs or busted, I think you're going to have a good time. If you're playing DK right now, two good specs, three good Mage specs, two good Aug specs. Prez is probably going to be overshadowed in this just because of how good Dev and Aug is. The and how good Resto Druid is. It's very difficult to want to bring a Prez Evoker over how good Resto Druid can be. Bringing Battle Res, the versatility buff. It is extremely tanky, has very good offs, can heal the whole group very, very well. Good DPS overall. I mean, it's very, very quick too. I mean, overall, this would be most likely the highest keys done are going to be the busted list, and then you're going to see the S tier sprinkled into those, and A plus are probably going to be your your one tricks are going to make the A plus tier look like they're busted. Just always like that. And then anything in A tier is just not outputting as much as the others, but can still be worked. Most of the B tiers are probably not going to be seen. So, and then I just don't even know. Windwalker, I don't think is very playable. And we have 2 good shaman specs. So, once again, giving all of the other healers significantly under the Resto Druid really makes for those caster comps at the top where Resto Druid Vengeance are just kings and they're just going to take over the ladder. I think every comp at the beginning is just going to be Vengeance Resto Druid, flex a DK in there, and do your two other ranged DPS. So this is any other updates we get, or I find other super OP stuff on beta, I'll continue to look through the logs, minimal as they are. We'll try to find the absolute best comps and bring them to you here. So hope you guys enjoyed. Liking the video really helps. And if you want to see more of this type of stuff with Mythic Plus content, subscribe.